After everyone complained and shipped up Buffed Red Hood, now they have set a precedent that is kind of putting us on an awkward position when it comes to Pilgrim and important units. Because the buff was pretty good, right? It transformed her from a good unit, a really good unit, to one of the strongest units in the game. But now we have the issue with other units that were also hyped, were also waiting, and they are not up to that hype, let's say, right? And the biggest examples are going to be, of course, Pilgrim units. I'm going to be talking about Pilgrims only in this video, instead of general units like we usually do on the other videos like Julia, Crow, and other units, right? So let's focus about Pilgrims. But before we start, hello the internets, welcome back to Waifus. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to help me grow the channel. And we're gonna be live when this video is published, most likely in an hour, maybe less. So come say hello. We're gonna be playing Nikke, we're gonna be playing Rivers 1999, and we might be playing a new roguelike called Death Must Die or something like that. A pretty good game so far, but let's do talk about Pilgrims, and Noah, Nihilista, and Isabel are going to be the topic of today. Like I was saying, Red Hood has set a precedent of, okay guys, if you complain and you give us good results, we might move units. But we've done this also with other characters, most specifically with Nihilista. When she came out, she was a letdown. She was a unit that everyone was hyped to get, that a lot of people were saving resources to get, that people were actually, saving a lot of pulls and skipping banners because of the old leaks were like, oh, we're getting a banner for her next, of which turned out to be Cup, right? So when we talk about Nihilista, her biggest problem is she was originally a rocket launcher, and they transformed her into a sniper. She still has really good burst generation, she has constant pierce, which is pretty nice, and her burst, when we talk about the burn damage, is decent. It's not good, it's just decent. Her problem, and you will see this on a lot of units, and I believe Isabel has the same problem, is a lot of the original units have skills that are active and on a cooldown on 10 to 15 seconds, dealing final attack as damage, right? A small percentage of attack. And actually, let me go to the Wikipedia so you can see the full numbers instead of showing you my level 1 units. So we can see this on Nihilista, we can see this on Isabel as well. But if we go to skill 2, it's a 112% of final attack as damage on a 10-second cooldown. Enemies within attack range, which as a sniper rifle is going to be most enemies on the screen. The issue is most units or most newer units are dealing 10 times that damage, right? So for example, not exactly 10 times, but you know what I mean. If we go here at this level 8, not even level 10, but activates when firing the last bullet, you don't have to wait 10 seconds, which with Annie's having 5, it's gonna be every few seconds, right? This is like 2-3 seconds, and she's doing 347% of final attack as damage. When she bursts, she only has 1 bullet, so every shot she's doing this. So a lot of the old units have that problem where they have conditions to activate their skills that they can't just fulfill, or is just completely worthless. And if I remember correctly, Isabel has this same problem when it comes to skill number 2. So skill number 2 is 15 seconds, affects 5 enemy units, only dealing 100%, and I believe even at level 10, it's not a really big percentage when it comes to that skill. I believe it's like less than 200? 170%. So once again, every 15 seconds, you have a lot of old units that have this condition of, okay, it's an active skill every 10-15 seconds. Some of them are 8, but most of them are 10 to 15, and they deal shit damage compared to the newer units. There is no way that they can compete. So when we talk about Pilgrim units that they are supposed to be so strong, right, and we talk about right now the ones we have available, most of them are pretty amazing. We have the best units in the game. Scarlet, Red Hood, Snow White, Modernia, Dorothy, even Rapunzel are all Pilgrims. Haran can compete in DPS, but she gets outshined because we have better snipers, but she's an amazing unit and her kit is good. And then we have the rest of the Pilgrims, the leftover Pilgrims, let's say, which is Noah, Nihilista, and Isabel. Noah is not a bad unit, but it's 40-second cooldown, and other than cheesing some content or specific bosses, let's say Mother Well, you are never using her. Most people were using her only for Tribe Tower progression, and the moment we got Nihilista, we also ditch her. And the moment we get another burst 2 Pilgrim, which most likely is going to be better than those two, we will also ditch Nihilista because there is no reason to be using her, as much as she has one of the best designs. And the same can be said for Isabel. She's not a bad unit for long fights. She could see some usage, but again, electric units, there's just better alternatives when it comes to that, right? Why would you put Isabel over any of the electric DPSs we have right now? When you can be using Scarlet, Summer Anise, you can be using Guillotine, and even Maiden or Haran. Haran over Maiden, most likely. You have already good DPSs, there is no need to be invested in her. So you have 3 Pilgrims that are more or less completely useless that people do really like. A lot of people like Noah, you know, if you have problems and you want the FBI at your house, you might like Noah. And then we have 2 Pilgrims with, again, one of the best designs. Nihilister, amazing design, not only for the character itself and the assets, but also for the mechanical parts. Really, really cool. And then Isabel, which I don't think I even need to say, but this is, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best design in the whole game. So they have set this precedent where, okay, it's fine to buff specific units only because it's the anniversary and it's a special occasion, and we still have around a third of this roster that is 100% useless, which is blue units, purple units, and most of the OG characters that since day one have seen no use. A lot of other gacha games actually do let you use lower rarity characters to clear content, to actually invest in them. When we talk about nikke, what characters can you invest that are SRs or Rs? When we talk about blues, no, I don't think anyone even knows their skills. I don't even know, guys, do you know any of these skills from the blue characters? I know there's a healer, I don't even remember which one it is. And then we talk about the purple ones, there is 3 that are usable. We have N102, we have Nif, which is actually great, a good unit that I do want to invest in at some point just because of waifu. And you have Anis for PvP and even Anchor for some of the PvP teams that I've seen around. Other than that, Pascal is completely useless, the other collab Himeno is also useless, and the normal SRs is like, why would you invest in them, right? So I hope that over time they go back to those units. I hope that over time we can take all of these old designs, all of these old characters that see not only not zero usage, but also have awful kits, and they just buff them a little bit or just change the conditions to activate those skills. I've said this in multiple videos. I don't think balancing a game is easy, and even less when there is so many characters in it. I'm not gonna be here acting as if I know how to balance the game. That is their job, right? I'm here to say what I would love to see over time, and not only me, but most players want to be able to use other units. A lot of you love specific characters that just you cannot use on your day-to-day meta teams because you are not allowed to progress with those. If you are not using specific compositions or specific elements, either for solo raid or for campaign on the raid chapters, you might get completely fucked and you will get stagnated on your progress. All that said though, do let me know what character that's not meta you really like and would like to use on your team on a day-to-day basis, be it R character, SR character, or even an SSR. As long as it's not a really popular one, right? When we talk about popular, we talk about meta, not waifu purposes. But do let me know which ones do you guys like. I personally would like to use Sin more, but as a B2 it's almost impossible to justify using her as much as I love her design. When it comes to SRs, I've said this, but the Nif is my favorite and I might invest in her. We'll see. SSRs, most of my waifus are actually meta, so I'm happy with that. But that's gonna be it for this video. Do let me know what you think, guys. We're gonna be live in a little bit, so come and say hello. Thank you to my patrons for making this content possible. Good luck with your pool generates. I'll see you in the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。